So you want to main Silver. Well, do you like wolves? Do you like melee? Do you like beer? Do you like Animals by Maroon 5? And do you like girl failures? Then Silver, the Lycan bounty hunter, is for you.
Lila Silver is a mess. She drinks too much, she smokes too much, and the less is said about her personal life, the better. But despite Silver's flaws, she has managed to carve out a career as a successful bounty hunter. And while she would like to think that her successes are solely because she has incredible intuition, the fact that she's a werewolf doesn't hurt.
And that, my friends, is a basic understanding of Lila Silver. Silver has been a werewolf for as long as she could remember. How she ended up as a bounty hunter was a simple equation of two things. She needs to pay for her rent, and she needs her whiskey. If Silver has those two things, then Silver is a happy gal. If not, then she bounty hunts to get those two things. She doesn't love being a bounty hunter, but when your life is such a mess, you take what you can get. Silver does her job out of necessity rather than enjoyment, and while she does try to take in her bounties alive, she usually ends up killing them. Not sure if it's because of her lycanthropy, or the fact that she carries around something resembling a Winchester Model 1887. Beats me, but either way, I wouldn't want to be on the end of the barrel of that thing, or the one being hunted down by her if I had a bounty. Okay, you know, who the fuck am I kidding? I was down bad for Varuna in Warframe when she first released, and I'm down bad for Silver in Deadlock. At some point, I should stop questioning my attraction to wolf-related characters and just accept it as me being a possible furry. Or really strong women, that also works. Yeah, safe to say I have a type. Silver as a character is one we like to call a self-aware mess. She knows she's got problems, a shit ton of problems from failed relationships to crippling alcoholism, and potentially a failing liver. Silver is a character that wants one simple thing from the patrons. Get enough money to sort her life out and thrive. And she doesn't mind working with people like Seven to do so.
Keeping a close eye on me.
Seven, I don't do my job out of a sense of justice. I do it to pay rent. And if we win today, that won't be a problem anymore. So trust me, I got no problem working with you if it means we win.
In-game, Silver is a frontline anti-carry monster that is one of the scariest characters to fight if she gets the drop on you, in any way, shape, or form. Doubly so if she has her ult off cooldown, which makes it incredibly hard for people to get away from her, unless the Silver player in question sucks. Like me. Silver doesn't just have one weapon and 4 abilities. She has 2 weapons and 7 abilities, making her a character that actually has a bit of a learning curve when it comes to how she plays and where you are at your strongest, where your power spikes are, and what type of fights you want to take. And pulling off some of the things you can do with Silver is not only incredibly fun, but incredibly rewarding too. And since I've decided to shoot myself in the foot for this one, I think it's best we go from ultimate first and then we branch off from there. Silver's ultimate is Lycan Curse, which is the crux of Silver's entire kit. Passively, dealing damage generates Bloodlust. When reaching max Bloodlust, you automatically cast Lycan Curse. Casting Lycan Curse allows Silver to instantly transform, gaining increased maxed health and a stacking fire rate on enemy heroes, and replacing your weapon and abilities with an entirely different kit. This form lasts for 15 seconds, and here's some Maroon 5 math. Lycan Curse is what makes Silver incredibly strong in a close range fight, or an isolated duel. She gets her Bloodlust stacked and runs at anyone who can't escape from her easily. When you get some boon points into this ability, she becomes one of those characters you do not want to duel with in any stretch of the imagination, as 9 times out of 10, she will beat you. And surprisingly, she can beat you from behind a lot more than I realized.
What do you mean by that?
The raw stats you get from this ability is stupid. Very stupid. Lycan Curse, and by extension her wolf form abilities, are incredibly front-loaded. The extra health, resistance, and move speed turns fights into what should be losses into something that Silver can actually win herself. For characters with transformations, that's always been a problem, as it essentially feels more like an I win button, unless the enemy team has hard CCs or counter items. And that is the crux of Silver's kit, her ultimate, and now I can break down both of her kits. So, from the top, Silver's weapon is called Hair of the Dog, a 7-round lever-action shotgun that fires 7 pellets a shot and has a DPS of 42 without boons. The fall-off range is 20 to 46 meters, and here's some shotgun math. Hair of the Dog is an incredibly satisfying weapon to use. It feels good, sounds good, and it hits pretty hard when you pair it with her 1. Just don't try farming minions with this thing because you're not going to be very successful unless you're someone who likes to melee to confirm souls. Unfortunately, with that entire plan, you're at a risk of getting parried. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Silver's ultimate weapon, which is called Loose Muzzle, a melee weapon that does 50 damage per second. It doesn't have a fall-off range due to it being classed as a melee, and here's some muzzle math. Loose Muzzle is the weapon where you realize you're about to get utterly blitzed if Silver gets close to you, because if you do end up in her claws, that's just the start of what she's going to do to you. Silver's first human form ability is Slam Fire. Silver instantly reloads her weapon, gaining bonus fire rate and dealing bonus weapon damage based on target current health. This lasts for 3 shots, has a set duration, and here's some slam math. Slam Fire is Silver's main source of burst in human form, and is also one of the best ways to stack up your Bloodlust for ultimate, even more so when you have all the upgrades unlocked, especially that tier 3. In her ultimate, Slam Fire is replaced by Go for the Throw. Silver bites down on a cone in front of her, dealing melee damage scaling with missing health, and heals Silver for a portion of the damage dealt. It's on a 6.5 second cooldown, and here's some chomp math. You do a chomp, missing health damage, heal a bunch, kill people. It's an execution mechanic. It's self-explanatory. It's what Silver mainly uses to either nearly confirm or confirm her kills. Silver's second human ability is Boot Kick. Silver dashes forward and kicks the first enemy hit, dealing melee damage and marking the target. Shooting the mark deals spirit damage, removes the mark, and here's some boot math. Boot Kick is actually a very interesting ability for a few reasons. For one, it gives you stamina back on tier 2 if you're able to hit someone, and it can be used as a pseudo paradox swap if you know how the ability works and how to direct it with the kick. In Silver's ultimate, however, Boot Kick is replaced by Mauling Leap. Silver leaps forward, mauling the first enemy hit for melee damage, shredding their bullet resistance, and inflicting a spirit damage over time effect. The dot lasts for 6 seconds, and here's some leaping math. Mauling Leap is just Foxy jumping at you from FNAF 2, but instead of an instant game over scream, you have to worry about getting actively ripped apart while your whole team watches. Silver's third ability in human form is Entangling Bowler. Silver throws a bowler that deals spirit damage, applying a slow and preventing movement abilities. No, that's literally it. Here's the math. It's a capacitor on a 20-second cooldown, and on the higher tiers, it has a ricocheting effect. It's really good at locking down some of the more problematic movement characters. Lash gets fucked by it, Mina gets fucked by it, Pocket gets fucked by it. Any character you think is a movement menace gets fucked by Entangling Bowler. In her ultimate, Entangling Bowler is replaced by Tail Whack. Silver spins around in a circle, deals spirit damage with her tail, and enemies hit by the tail are disarmed for 2 seconds and slowed for 30%. And here's some tail math. Silver's 3 in both forms are 2 counters to very specific things. It's really good utility. Silver in general is a very disruptive character. From a gameplay perspective, most of Silver's heavy power is front-loaded into her ultimate, and even then, without the ultimate, she's got some strength. But it's that ultimate you want to pop, get in a fight, dive a team, and then just go absolutely nuts with the healing, disarming. Mobility is surprisingly crazy, and just being a menace. But how do you play Silver? Early game, you want to maximize taking trades that are within your favor. You're not really well equipped for minion clearing, so if you need to pick up something like monster rounds to help clear lane, then be sure to do so. You are not super strong, but you can fight. Slam Fire can easily help with the trades too if you have fairly decent aim and can hit every single pellet. It will take chunks out of your opponent, and it is also a very good way to reload your weapon if you need to reload in a flash. But because you are early game and Silver is not exactly strong, you'll have a ton of openings for enemies to get damage in. She's relatively weak, so if you're getting poked out of lane, your best bet is to buy regen, buy defense, and just play for the farm and then play for boxes. For mid game, you are roaming and you live in your jungle. Mid-game is where Silver is actively at her strongest. You want to be able to push your advantages and your power spikes and take fights that you know you will win. You want to be clearing jungle, going for sinners, and just setting up for picks and plays when you're able to. And that might set up for something like an earn fight. That would be a good thing to go for, because people can't really fight you 1v1 unless they are either incredibly fed or they bring more than 2 people along in a fight to deal with you specifically. Essentially, you are a menace in wolf form. You are one of the biggest threats on your team, and the enemy has to either deal with you or you kill at least 2 or 3 people. Hard crowd control is your biggest weakness in the mid game unless you have some debuff resistance, and considering what you build, you're gonna have debuff resistance. Late game, you are a diver. You are just constantly in fights. Your entire idea is soaking up damage, popping your ult, and then making sure that your carries can kill the enemy team. Or you're so fed that you end up killing the enemy carries yourself. Happened more than once in my experience. The backline either kills you get hard crowd control or died, but at this point in the game, everyone, you should just be team fighting and you should just be able to play for stuff like mid-boss and maybe an urn if that is the case. And once again, with the stuff that you build, you should just be designating the hard CC onto yourself and you should be tanking and peeling for your team. So that's more or less the crux of how you play Silver. But how do you build Silver? For gun, you're building close range and a lot of it. You'll be building stuff like Point Blank, Hunter's Aura, Weighted Shots, and Berserker. These 4 items are incredibly good for buffing not only Silver's close range damage, but her ability to stick to people. Weighted Shots and Point Blank and their respective slows make getting away from Silver almost impossible unless your name is either Apollo, Pocket, or the Lash. Another really well-known pick for Silver is actually Express Shot. It helps her get her ultimate off, and it helps her get her ultimate stacked. Silver is one of the best use cases for Express Shot in the game. That and paired with any status-based items, you actively stack statuses quickly. The 2 well-known gun items that you use for status is Toxic Bullets and Silencer. And for green, you're building tank, but you must get stamina mastery. Due to the fact that you're building stuff like weighted shots, you're not going to have a lot of stamina recovery, and Silver being a 2-stam character can cripple her in several ways. Unstoppable is a must build on Silver because you will get CC'd a lot without Unstoppable. If you have any sort of lead, people will be building any form of way to shut you down. So Unstoppable is an active that is a best in slot pick. This is not an argument, this is just a fact. Phantom Strike and Warp Stone also supplement Silver's mobility, especially with her too. Phantom Strike if you want to deal with flyers, Warp Stone if you want to just get into a fight. But normally you could just build them both. The one debuff item I would recommend would actually be Inhibitor. It's an all-around good item, especially if they have characters like Shiv, Abrams, any character that is known to build a lot of healing and damage. For movement speed, you want Juggernaut and Trophy. Juggernaut because you're already building anti-carry, so you might as well pair it up with some nice slow resistance. Trophy Collector is self-explanatory because you're constantly fighting in the mid-game. You'll get it stacked if you're just in the proximity of any fights. And Colossus, because it's Colossus. Good health, good resistances, just all around good item. The usual resistances like Spirit and Bullet Resilience are very nice, because you know, your resilience items are important. For heavy amounts of Spirit Burst, Spellbreaker, and Witchmail. Against gun investment, Return Fire, Metal Skin, or Plate Armor. Your choice, really. You already have a lot of anti-gun baked into your kit, especially with Tail Whack, and if you have Phantom Strike, then no one can really shoot you. So while you're at it, just pile misery upon misery. For Spirit, one, why the fuck are you building Spirit on this character? She doesn't really have great scalings on Spirit, but I will give you a few recommendations for it. Cooldown, duration, and a shred of your choice. Cooldown and duration are fairly evident, especially with the new nerfs to Silver's ultimate being like 60 seconds now, if I remember correctly. And duration, because the dot lasts longer, the disarm lasts longer, your ultimate lasts longer. Duration is just a very, very good pickup. Aside from that, always remember to build your counters, never build left to right. It's a bad habit. Actively think about who you're playing against and build accordingly. And if you're ahead, just go Chungus mode, build whatever the hell you want and kill everything. You're not going to be stopped anyway. Farm waves, clear jungle, pick your fights. You know you can win, and you'll be able to summon that patron nice and quickly. In conclusion, Lila Silver, all in all, is a mess of a character. Will always be a mess, and will continue to be a mess. Silver as a character is one that has more tell don't show of her writing, and while she isn't as strong as someone like Doorman or Pocket in terms of lore, she more than makes up for it in her gameplay department and the dry sarcasm that some of her interactions actually have. She's a very fun, dive-heavy character, and she will always be incredibly strong until Yoshi decides to take her out back and put a 50 cal silver bullet into her head. Most of the balance changes for Silver at this point anyway have just been consistent of getting her legs blown off with a 12 gauge. She will still continue to be one, if not the best 1v1 duelists in Deadlock, even though Apollo is the dedicated duelist of that role. And she'll continue to be a menace for teams that are not coordinated. Anywho, I'm getting back to blasting Maroon 5 animals on repeat. See you guys in the next video of whatever the hell I decide to do, and if I make another Deadlock-focused character guide, it will most likely be on Pocket. Anyway, it's been Azura. Bye. Bye.